walk into a relationship thinking she wants love. You assume she desires warmth, affection, protection. You convince yourself that if you give her enough care, enough loyalty, enough of your soul, she'll stay. That's the lie. That's the illusion you've built your emotional prison around. Carl Jung once wrote, "Where love reigns, there is no will to power, and where power predominates there, love is lacking." But what if the unspoken truth is that many women crave power more than they crave love? Not overt power, not the kind that wears a crown or wields a sword, but emotional power, the kind that lets her know she controls your world, your moods, your decisions, your identity. Love becomes the tool. Power is the goal. You want connection, she wants leverage. This isn't about hating women. It's about waking up. It's about realizing that what you thought was mutual devotion was often silent domination. She doesn't always want your heart. She wants the feeling of knowing she can break it. And she wants to know you'll thank her for doing it. So the question isn't, does she love me? The real question is, are you the man who needs love to feel alive? Or the man who walks through life powerful enough to not beg for it? Today you will face 5 brutal truths. Not to shame you, but to rebuild you. If you're brave enough, if your ego can withstand the fire, you'll emerge as something far more dangerous than the obedient lover she thought you'd always be. You'll become untouchable. You were taught to be strong, to be a man of discipline, to build yourself, to conquer, to achieve. But here's the first truth no one warned you about. She doesn't want you strong. Not really. Not unless that strength bows to her emotions. Your success is attractive until it becomes independent. Your discipline is admirable until it defies her demands. Your power is desirable until it no longer answers to her validation. You thought being a strong man was enough. It's not, because she doesn't want a strong man. She wants a strong man who kneels. She wants your dominance, as long as she can dominate it emotionally. Carl Jung spoke of the anima, the feminine archetype, in every man. And when that anima is immature, you project your unconscious desire for approval onto her. You worship her. You idealize her. You hand over your fortress brick by brick, thinking she'll protect it. She won't. Because when your power is handed over too easily, it's no longer power. It's submission dressed up in virtue. She doesn't test your strength by cheering for you. She tests it by pushing against it, nagging, withholding affection, challenging your direction. Not to destroy you, but to see if you'll fold. And most men do. They compromise. They soften. They start negotiating with what should be non-negotiable, not realizing every inch you give, she sees. And every inch you give, she respects you less. You want her to admire you. Then never beg for peace where you must wield the sword. Never barter your mission for her comfort. If she cannot walk beside you at full pace, let her fall behind. Because a man who bends for love is loved only until he bends too far. You were told that devotion is noble, that the more loyal you are, the more love you'll receive. That if you give her your time, your energy, your heart, she'll give hers in return. But that's not how it works. She doesn't want devotion. She wants emotional leverage. She wants to know you'll chase her, that you'll suffer when she pulls away, that your sense of self, your peace, your masculinity depends on her attention. And if you give her that power, you've already lost. You've become her emotional insurance policy, a man she can manipulate, mold, and abandon without consequences, because you're too devoted to walk away, too addicted to her affection to call out the disrespect. She doesn't test your love. She tests your limits. Nietzsche said, "He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster." But you became a mirror of the very chaos you were trying to tame. You became reactive, needy, volatile, and still, you called it love. No, it was emotional enslavement. She cried. You apologized. She withdrew. You panicked. She criticized. You compromised. Every time you adjusted yourself to please her emotions, you trained her to see your feelings as weaker than hers. And once she believes your emotional world orbits hers, she owns you. Not through force, not through cruelty, but through strategic absence. She'll withhold the very affection she used to hook you, just to see how far you'll crawl to get it back. And you will, because you made her comfort your God, her validation your oxygen, her silence your punishment. That's not love, that's control. And she'll keep using it because you keep proving it works. So ask yourself, when was the last time you made her earn your attention? When was the last time your silence had weight? When was the last time she feared losing you? If the answer is never, then understand, you're not in love, you're in chains. You believed in equality. You thought if you gave her a seat at the table, she'd build the kingdom with you. That if you loved her like an equal, she'd rule beside you. But what you failed to see is that many women don't want to share power. They want to feel they have it over you. Not in politics, not in wealth, but where it matters most to them, emotionally. You think you're building an empire together, but she's quietly watching whether that empire still trembles when she withdraws her affection. Whether your focus shatters when she goes cold. Whether you still need her more than she needs you. If you do, she owns you. The modern man has been fooled by the myth of mutual empowerment. But power by nature is not mutual. It's always shifting, always tested, never truly shared. Carl Jung wrote, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." But what happens when a man truly accepts himself? When he no longer seeks her permission to be who he is, he becomes dangerous because she no longer has influence. And when a woman loses emotional power over a man, most don't feel equal. They feel irrelevant. You gave her power thinking it would bond you. But if that power isn't rooted in your boundaries, she will use it not to build with you, but to bend you. Every time you explain yourself. Every time you apologize for being masculine. Every time you soften your truth to protect her feelings. You don't look noble, you look weak. She'll never say it. But deep inside, she's disappointed. Because you gave up the one thing she actually needed from you. Your unshakable presence. Your inner fortress. The sense that nothing, especially not her mood, can move you. She may scream at the wall you become, but she will respect the man who doesn't flinch. Do you want her love? Then stop trading your backbone for it. Stop negotiating your soul to make her feel safe. You can love her. You can lead her. But the moment you place your identity beneath her approval, you are no longer her man. You are her puppet. You've been lied to. They told you a man needs love to be complete. That without a woman, you're just a shadow. That without being chosen, validated, adored, you're not enough. But the final truth is that the most dangerous man is the one who doesn't need love to be whole, because he cannot be controlled, because he doesn't chase what he does not require, because he doesn't build his worth on the shifting sands of someone else's affection. He doesn't beg. He doesn't prove. He doesn't plead for another chance. He walks, with or without her, in pain or in peace. He walks. Carl Jung called it the path of individuation, the long, lonely journey of becoming who you truly are, not who others need you to be. Most men will never walk that path because it demands solitude, it demands rejection, it demands facing the darkness of yourself without a soft hand to comfort you. But the man who walks it becomes untouchable. You can't seduce him with praise, you can't destroy him with silence, you can't own him through guilt, because he knows who he is with or without her. Because he's built a kingdom inside that no one else has keys to. When she sees this, she has two reactions. She respects you in a way she never has before. She fears you because you are free. And women may love many things, but they fear and respect true freedom in a man more than anything. Because they can't control it, because they can't predict it, because it makes them feel exposed. You've been taught to be soft, to be accommodating, to be always available. But the man who stands at the edge of solitude, who can look at his own reflection and say, even if no one ever loves me again, I am still enough. That man is fire. He doesn't need love. He chooses it. And if it turns into manipulation, into weakness, into war, he walks away without flinching. He doesn't collapse. He evolves. Because love is not his fuel. Self-respect is. And no woman can take that from him unless he offers it first. Now you know. You've seen the shadows behind the smiles. You've felt the weight of truths no one dared to tell you. Not your teachers. Not your father. Not your friends. They wanted you blind. Because a man who sees clearly becomes dangerous. You thought love would save you. That if you gave enough, cared enough, stayed long enough, she would see your worth. But now you understand. She did see your worth. She just didn't fear losing it. And that's what made her stop respecting you. You thought devotion was power. It wasn't. It was your leash. You thought kindness would heal her chaos. It didn't. It fed it. You thought being the good man would make her stay. It only made you easier to leave. Because what she secretly craves is not comfort. It's control. And when you gave her your emotions, your time, your soul without boundaries, you gave her the throne. You bowed. And in that bow, you broke. Now here is your final choice. Walk alone or die in illusion. If you walk alone, yes, it will hurt. Nights will feel empty. Your bed will grow cold. Your silence will echo. But slowly the fog will lift, and you will see yourself again. Not the boy who needed love to feel like a man, but the man who stands tall in solitude, unchained, untouched, uncompromised. That man is rare, and women will sense it. Not because you scream power, but because you do not flinch. You've stopped begging. You've stopped proving. You've stopped apologizing for being exactly what this world fears. A man who no longer needs to be needed. So choose. Keep chasing illusions, or walk through the fire alone and become the man no one can own.